Thank you. So thank you for attending today's webinar and all about our new training and support programme to support H&F residents with a passion for improving the wellbeing of people and planet, whilst also growing a stronger community, H&F Climate Champions. So some of you might remember back in 2022, we actually piloted a really similar program. It was called Sustainability Champions, but we've basically taken learnings from this trial and built it into this new scheme. But just to note, it is a separate scheme with similar aims to build the capacity of local people to influence change through demonstrating and communicating what climate and nature action really looks like. But this programme really is for everyone, because taking action to address the climate and ecological crisis isn't just about protecting future generations from climate risks of flooding and heating and droughts. It also brings a host of local benefits in the near term, from improved physical health, from more active travel, improved mental health, from greater access to nature and community resilience, reduced energy bills from better insulated homes, and of course, upskilling people in the skills that we need for future jobs, and so much more. So yes, we're going to crack on with things. So Ian is Community Programme Manager at Groundwork, who are leading the training programme. And Ian's going to speak for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we're going to go into a Q&A. So thank you, Ian. Please do share your screen.
Thanks, Hope. I'm just going to share now and just check everyone can see. Can everyone see the slide?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Okay, welcome everyone. Nice to see so many people, and greetings to anyone watching the recording also. So, just a little bit about Groundwork London for people that might not know us. We're a charity. We've been operating in London for over 25 years, including here in Hammersmith and Fulham. In terms of what we do, we work across quite a range of areas. So we do community work, we work in employment and skills, youth work, energy, water and waste, social integration, health and well-being. We manage grants, landscape design, and also volunteering. And you can see a couple of photographs. The one on the left is a picture of a sustainable urban drainage system that was done by our landscape architects. And the one on the right shows some corporate volunteering day, which is installing some community garden. And you can just see our strapline at the bottom, just to give you a bit more of a sense about what we do. So in terms of what the Hammersmith and Fulham Climate Champions is, it's a fully subsidised training and support programme for 15 people. It will be delivered by Groundwork London in partnership with Hammersmith and Fulham Council. The aim of the programme is to support aspiring community leaders to gain the knowledge, develop skills, and grow an initiative to take forward on their own or with others. The initiatives need to relate to Hammersmith and Fulham Council's climate strategy areas. So I think Hope just outlined these, but just to reiterate, they are homes, energy and buildings. So for example, energy savings awareness, increasing renewables, community energy, travel, so increasing walking, cycling, scooting, public transport, the things we use, or the circular economy. So for example, rethinking, reducing, repairing and recycling, making space for nature, so supporting wildlife, plant life and food growing, and adapting to climate change, so mitigating flood and heat risk, building community resilience and awareness raising. And there's also a link that I think Charlotte's either shared or going to share in the chat that also points people to Hammersmith and Fulham's community climate map, which can give you a bit more of an example of local examples of initiatives in those areas. So in terms of the training component of the Champions programme, there's going to be a total, oh, sorry, apologies. This is where I hand over to Molly, my colleague. Apologies, Molly. So I'm going to hand over to Molly.
Hello, fantastic. Thanks all for coming, really exciting to see here. So the training will be 4 2-hour in-person sessions. The first session will cover the climate and ecological emergency, and just giving people, really empowering people with facts about where we are as a situation and what really can make a difference. And obviously it's one of those sessions where we'll all come with different experiences and ideas as well. How to discover your community's interests and needs, kind of what is community engagement, some developing and generating ideas. And then sharing some examples of projects that have worked and what they've learned. So that's community climate action, both in Hammersmith and Fulham and beyond. And then the fourth session is a really kind of session where you're generating and developing your idea for your own initiative. So in a way, the 4 sessions, they kind of start where you're very much a learner, but as you go through them, you become more and more involved in the process. And at the end, you're really coming up with your ideas with support and advice from other people on the course and the facilitator.
Thank you, Molly. So after the training component, we're going to also bring in what we're calling a support component. This will happen during March. This will be based on the outcomes of the training component, especially the final session, which is the 4th session, and we actually co-create this with a group of participants that attended the training. Just to give you some examples of what this could look like, though, so it could be some one-to-one sessions, it could be further training on more specific relevant topics where Groundwork London's can add value. So it could be something around fundraising, volunteer recruitment and management, community gardening, risk assessments, landscape architecture aspects, so such as flooding and SUDS features, green roofs, water saving, etc. And it could also be on water and or energy efficiency or further community engagement training if people think that's a useful thing they'd like to learn more about. It could also be further group meets online or in person, or it could be something else. So that will be co-created at the end of the training with the participants based on rich people's needs. In terms of who this is for, it's for applicants who are residents in the borough, but we will also consider strong applications where the project is fully delivered in Hammersmith and Fulham, supporting the residents and local environment. So applicants must demonstrate a commitment to and a passion for community engagement, commit to all 4 sessions, and have an idea, however early the stage of that idea is, for how they want to encourage and inspire community climate action. Applicants don't need to have any previous experience in or know a lot about climate change. So that's like an important point we wanted to make. Applicants do need to demonstrate any networks they are part of, such as a local charity or community group, a forum, such as a TRA or other residents association, a faith group, school or educational organisation, or a local environmental action group or small business. And recognising how the climate crisis impacts different communities in different ways, we welcome a wide range of people to apply for this opportunity. So, and if you have any access needs or would like any support to take part in the programme, then you can let us know about this when you sign up for the project. In terms of how to apply, there's a short expression of interest form. Again, I think Charlotte will post a link to that in the chat, but it's also on the relevant page on Hammersmith and Fulham's, or link to it is on the relevant page on Hammersmith and Fulham's website. Molly's going to take you through this form very briefly, just at the end of the slide, just so you know that. And the deadline for the applications is midday on Thursday, the 5th of December. So we've still got, I think it's around 3 weeks' time. But please be aware that we do reserve the ability to award places before the end of the application period. So we do advise people to apply at the earliest opportunity just to try and avoid potential disappointment. Applications will then be reviewed by Groundwork London and the Hammersmith and Fulham Council Climate Team, and 15 people will then be offered a space on the programme within around 1 week of the deadline. So I'm going to hand back over to Molly. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that Molly can also share the, yeah, there we go, great.
Fantastic. Yeah, so this is the expression of interest form. And we've just got a few questions to share your interest, your experience. So that's whether it's voluntary community work or climate action. So it might be that you have more experience in voluntary and community, but you're moving into climate action, for example. And then your initial kind of idea and your thoughts, whatever stage they're at, and are you part of any existing groups or networks in Hammersmith and Fulham? And then we really want to hear what times and days, and so this is quite a complicated, I know, list of different times and days, but really helpful to hear when works for everyone, because we want to suit as many people as possible. Which area they should be in to suit as many people as possible, then your details, of course, and that sort of key information there. The next slide is some demographic information, but that's there to make sure that we are meeting a kind of wide, that the outreach for this programme has met a wide variety of people in the community. So that won't have a bearing on whether or not you're selected, if that makes sense. Thank you. I'll just pass back to Ian then.
So yeah, just wanted to say also, please do share news and details of this as wide as possible within your networks within the borough, just to kind of help us to spread the word. And really, that's the kind of end of the presentation from us, and it's over to you for questions.
Thank you, Ian. I don't have any questions in the Q&A, but I did see Fiona had her hand up. So Fiona, have you got a question?
Where is the sorry, I was trying to put it in the chat.
That's okay.
Where will the training be held? Is it easy for transport?
So actually, we're going to host ideally all of them in person, but the location will actually be decided based on who applies and sort of where they live. We're looking to have like a great spread, like that ideally would have a lovely spread of influencers, champions. So probably it will be like quite central, like maybe Hammersmith. But really this will be down to like who applies, and we'll try and make it as easy as possible. Like we might even try rotate around the borough to see different spaces, and that the spaces will likely be our libraries. Thanks,
Okay.
Fiona. Very good question. Any other questions? And in fact, if you have a question that you don't want to be recorded, we can always kind of switch the recording off the end and you can ask us those. But we do also have an inbox, Ian's email address, where you can direct more questions to. We will be sharing the recording afterwards. Thank you, Edward. Manon? Oh, you're on mute at the moment.
Hello,
we can
hi.
See you. Hey.
Hi, nice to see you. I was just wondering, are we able to apply straight away? And if so, where do we find the link? And yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've just opened applications this week. The deadline is the 5th of December. So it's quite a quick turnaround, but the form is quite simple and quick to fill in. And the actual EOI, so expression of interest form, my colleague has put that in the chat, but there's also a web page for like more information, which is also in the chat. However, I'll circulate all of this afterwards, but yeah, you can apply now. And if you have any questions about like what it might look, what you know, your project might look like, because what we've said is, what we've suggested is that people have some kind of idea in their head of what like a project might look like, even if it's just like an area, not necessarily a very planned out project, because we're going to help you to do that. Thank you, Manon. We have got plenty of time left, so
there's another, sorry to interrupt.
Questions. Yeah.
Hope there's another question, which is if the initiative needs to be funded, if the initiative needs to be funded in order for it to become a reality, who will fund it? And if in terms of the training, developing kind of funding, finding funding applications and developing fundraising, what am I saying here? How to write funding applications and how to find is one of the things that is covered in the training, and it's also something that could be sort of discussed in the support component. Am I getting that right, Ian? Or am I talking nonsense? I'm getting that right.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the same thing. So if, for example, you know, most or many people within the training express an interest for fundraising support, so that could be how you write applications, it could even be going through an application, or it could be kind of signposting to where typical funding opportunities arise for the kind of structures that you might either currently have or be looking to set up if needed, then we might be able to support with that. So that's something we could kind of do a bit more work on the support component.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll just add to that. Great question. The council actually does have a micro grant scheme already running, and we definitely encourage everyone to apply for that. That's up to £500 for like an eco initiative. But there are obviously other funds to like tap into, be it council or borough wide or even London wide, and we'll definitely signpost these. Plus, Groundwork have expertise in this. Fiona?
Yeah, sorry. Also to ask if there'll be like sharing of resources, because my project has started as a gardening club in a local school. I found out all sorts of stuff that's free, which I just didn't know about, and it would be good to be able to share that with other people.
So yeah, I mean, hopefully there'll be obviously time to do that with other participants. But yes, we could look at kind of wider sharing both in both directions. It's something we can kind of look at as part of the programme.
Yeah, a really great question. And I would also just add to that, I guess what we're really hoping to do, because there only kind of are 15 people we can take on the training, so you want to make sure it's kind of as really benefits everyone. You get as much kind of one-to-one support as possible. So what we're really hoping to do is kind of really build this like network of, I guess that's why we call them champions, people to be sharing the message of what is going on in the borough, what is available in the borough, and continue to do that. And free resources, for example, like the gardening tools and stuff that you've said, Fiona, it's like an excellent example of the things we want to sort of be spreading the word about through our champions.
And I think if there's specific areas where you're looking to receive information, Fiona, in particular topics, it may well be that in Groundwork we kind of have some knowledge of places where you can look as well as where you can post. So that's definitely something we can kind of weave in either or both the training or the support components. Because
also
I agree
I'm very keen. Sorry, my phone's. I'm very keen not to either reinvent wheels or tread on people's toes unintentionally.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Thanks, Fiona. Any other questions? Even if it's about the which we didn't go into too much detail about, like your project you might be taking forward. If you want to kind of ask and check whether that might be relevant, might fit into those areas of our climate strategy. Man, this is so exciting. If we don't have any questions, we will wrap up. Oh, we have a late entry.
Cool.
Hi, Gary, thank you for joining us. We have gone through the wider presentation, but it's been recorded and we'll be sharing it afterwards. We're just in our Q&A section at the moment. Fiona, I think, is your hand up from the previous question?
No, sorry.
No probs. Manon?
I was just wondering, so I work with West Youth Zone in White City, and I would love to run workshops with them and engage them in like fast fashion workshops, and also like just getting them to know about what's going on with the environment. So yeah, that's kind of my idea. So this just sounds so brilliant. Like it just sounds like perfect.
Yeah, fantastic to hear. Great to hear your excitement. I'll definitely encourage you to obviously apply straight away. But you're absolutely, that would absolutely fit into our circular economy area, and education, especially of young people, is sounds fantastic. Edward does, sorry, I have a question. Another one from Edward. If a project answers your criteria, but it's actually a commercial idea, would that also fit? So I guess we're looking for the criteria is it's got to have a community impact, it's got to be, fit into one of our strategy areas. If there's an element that it's like commercial, we'd obviously have to look at what that would look like. But we're opening this up to small businesses too. So, there's no reason why it wouldn't fit. But we can have like further discussion on that. Carlos?
Thank you. No, I just wanted to say to Manon that actually we've been trying to reach out to you guys because we're interested in working in White City young people. Are you based at the is it the Ed City Space at the new building in
Yes.
that you're with ARC White City?